Hi there, I'm Simon Canton, and this is my review of Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. Save the Cat is a screenwriting book. It's full of tips on how to write the best screenplays for Hollywood movies. And so that's kind of the focus of the book. And as a novelist at the moment, I've written screenplays before. I found that it was a mixed bag in terms of usefulness for me personally. So I'll start with the main point, which is that Blake Snyder is detailing the Hollywood formula, basically, for writing movies. So everyone knows that, Hollywood follows a fairly standard formula for movies where things kind of, what's going to happen. When you're watching a movie, you already know that so-and-so died early on in the movie, but he's going to come back and save the day, or basically the hero looks like he's dead but he's coming back. Or in a horror movie, they kill the monster and then the monster is going to come back for one last grab, or that the best friend is going to die, all the usual Hollywood cliches. And this is kind of detailing how to write in that formula. Excuse me. So, with that being said, I mean, that's the point of this book, is to show you the formula. But with that being said, there's a lot of tips and tricks in this book that I found quite useful. So, the first section, or a few chapters of the book, were not all that useful for me. They go over the simpler things, the 3-act structure and stuff like that, in most basic terms. So that, for me at least, wasn't that interesting. But if you were a starting screenwriter, if you've never written a screenplay before, it might be interesting. But then, about halfway through the book, something like that, Mr. Snyder / Blake goes into his formula, or his template more, for how to write a screenplay, where he has kind of ideas for each thing that should go into the screenplay. So the first one, the title, Save the Cat, for instance, is that at the start of a movie, a hero should do something that shows that he's a good guy. A villain should do something that shows that he's a bad guy. So a hero could save a cat from a tree. A bad guy could kick a dog on the way past, or something like that. And that one didn't strike me as being particularly useful, but the next one, for instance, was very useful, I thought, which is that the first image in the movie should mirror the last image in the movie, but with a different perspective. What that means is that, like if you took The Wire, for instance, I'm not sure The Wire does this, but I'm just going to pretend like it does it. So at the start of The Wire, if they showed Baltimore and everything that's happening in Baltimore, cutting between drug dealers and cops and all the rest of it, and then at the end of The Wire they showed Baltimore cutting between drug dealers and cops and whatever, then you'd have a different perspective on the same image. And that was quite useful, I thought, at least. But there was lots of other tips that I found useful in it. The thing that I found, it reminded me a lot of Thomas Lennon's book. I'm just going to look at the title. Writing Movies for Fun and Profit, How He Made $1 Billion at the Box Office and You Can Too, by Thomas Lennon and Rob Ben Garant. So this, I read that previously, and this book is quite similar to that, except I'd say that one's slightly better. If your focus is learning the formula, learning how to make lots of money in Hollywood. If your focus, like mine is to write the best possible stories, then I got more maybe out of Save the Cat. Either way, both of them I think are subordinate to the Screenwriter's Bible, which I read years ago. I've reread a few times. Render somewhere. There it is. The Screenwriter's Bible. Read that first if you're learning how to write screenplays. And Adventures in Screenwriting the William Goldman book. Obviously read that first too. But if you're looking for something, if you've already read them and you're looking for something else with a new perspective and a few extra tips, I would say you should definitely check out Save the Cat. I give it 4 stars in Amazon ratings, or 3 stars here, which means that I liked it. I'd say that if you're a screenwriter, you should definitely check it out. And if you're a novel writer, you should check it out, but you probably should skip to the bit where he goes into his actual framework. I don't think the first section is all that useful. Not unless you're just interested, for interest's sake, in how screenplays are made. Anyway, thanks very much for watching.